Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a truly transformative way of looking at how we interact with the world, drawing straight from Rick Rubin's incredible concepts in The Creative Act, A Way of Being. I'm absolutely pumped to get into this because we're going to completely dismantle a myth that holds so many of us back. See, most of us grow up believing that creativity is this rare superpower, a magical gift handed down to a chosen few who go on to paint masterpieces or write symphonies. But the material we're unpacking today argues something entirely different. Creativity isn't a rare ability at all. It's a completely natural human process. It's our birthright, and it is available to absolutely all of us, every single day, especially those of us who would never, ever call ourselves artists. So let me ask you this right off the bat. Do you consider yourself an artist? If your gut reaction is a hard no, trust me, you are not alone. Those of us who don't do traditional arts are usually pretty wary of that word. We think of the label artist as exclusive or, frankly, kind of intimidating. But what if we just simplify things? What if we strip away all the fear and heavy expectations surrounding the word creativity? The second we stop putting art on this unreachable pedestal, we start to realize that we're actually participating in the creative process constantly. To really change our mindset, we need to completely reframe our end goal. Take a look at this beautiful quote from Robert Henry. The objective isn't necessarily to churn out a painting that gets hung in the Louvre or a song that goes multi-platinum. No, the true goal is simply to live in a wonderful, open state of being. When we cultivate a specific, mindful way of experiencing the world, creativity naturally flows from us. It literally becomes inevitable. The art is really just the byproduct of a life lived with deep attention and presence. Now, this is where the whole concept becomes incredibly practical for our daily lives. We traditionally view art as museums, symphonies, and elite skills. But everyday creativity, it's so much more accessible. To create simply means to bring something into existence that wasn't there before. Figuring out a brand new route home just to avoid a traffic jam, that is a creative act. Throwing together a meal without a recipe, even if you accidentally burn the edges a little bit, is a creative act. Deciding exactly how to arrange the furniture in your living room so the space feels just right, or carefully picking the perfect words for an email to a friend. These are all moments where your personal, unique, creative signature shines through. So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that tuned choice by tuned choice, your completely mundane daily decisions actually make your entire life a singular work of art. You don't need a paintbrush, and you don't need special tools. The way you solve a tricky logistical problem at your desk, the way you dress in the morning, the way you speak, it is all self-expression. Once you realize that art doesn't require elite skills, your whole perspective shifts. You are already generating your reality internally. You exist as a creative being in a highly creative universe. When you zoom out a bit, you start to see a much broader context. Think of the universe itself as one eternal, continuous creative act. The world is just pulsing with this massive productive energy. It's the exact same energy that drives trees to grow blossoms, rivers to carve out new paths, and cells to replicate. We are deeply fundamentally connected to this natural cycle. Just as a tree naturally grows fruit, humanity naturally creates things, whether that's a brilliant piece of software, a spreadsheet, or a song. We are all part of a greater whole that is constantly regenerating itself. Which brings us to an incredible metaphor for where inspiration actually comes from. Think of yourself as a human antenna. We don't necessarily have to force ideas out of our brains through sheer agonizing willpower. Instead, ideas are more like subtle energetic signals transmitting all around us. Our job as humans is to simply act as sensitive receivers. If your antenna isn't tuned, well, you lose the data in the static of everyday life. You don't hunt for the idea. You create an open, quiet space to catch the transmission, and you learn to deeply trust your own physical sensations when searching for new meaning. This actually connects perfectly to a passage from the book of Ecclesiastes. Just like the changing of the seasons, our own creative energy is deeply tied to natural rhythmic cycles. Think about it. How does a cloud know when to rain? How does a bird know when it's time to build a nest? There's an inherent timing to the natural world. Understanding this helps us realize that our own inspiration has seasons too, and we are participating in a larger creative act that we aren't fully conducting ourselves. We are being conducted. And that introduces the idea of the cosmic timetable. Ideas and thoughts exist out there in the ether, and they ripen on their own natural schedule. They arrive precisely when we and the world are ready to hear them. But here is the fascinating catch. If you get an idea that excites you, if you feel that undeniable spark in your gut and you ignore the call, the universe simply finds another conduit. It's not that someone stole your idea. It's just that the idea's time had come and it needed a maker. This is exactly why we have to be tuned in and ready to act. Okay, so if we are these sensitive receivers and ideas are constantly floating by on a cosmic schedule, the million-dollar question is, how do we actually tune our antenna? How do we clear away all the static, the stress, and the noise of our busy lives to actually hear these subtle transmissions? How do we build that trust in our own intuition? The answer is actually found in incredibly simple daily awareness practices. You absolutely do not need an expensive wellness retreat. You just need a daily assignment to build a habit of expanded observation. Try this sequence. Take 3 slow, deep breaths the absolute moment you wake up to center yourself. Eat just one meal mindfully, genuinely savoring the taste instead of scrolling on your phone. Take a quick walk and look at the world with pure gratitude. The goal isn't just to meditate, it's to build this psychological muscle to see the world differently when you're not doing these exercises. And building that muscle leads perfectly into this amazing piece of advice. Look for what you notice but no one else sees. Train yourself to quietly observe the random, seemingly mundane details of your environment to awaken new thoughts. Look at the specific way a shadow falls on a wall, or a quirky phrase someone uses in line at the coffee shop. When we stop walking through life with tunnel vision, focusing only on survival and our endless to-do lists, we start building up a treasury of material. Awaken to the awe behind the obvious. Now, I have to be real with you. The moment you decide to act on a new idea, you are going to face friction. We have to talk about confronting the inner critic. Because whether you are simply rearranging a room, pitching a new strategy at work, or painting a canvas, self-doubt is going to creep in. A voice will whisper that you aren't talented enough or the idea is silly. This happens to literally everyone, even legendary artists who have been working for decades. The real game changer is how we handle that internal resistance. There is a massive, absolutely crucial psychological distinction we have to make here. There is a huge difference between doubting the work and doubting yourself. Asking, hey, is this solution the best it can possibly be, is healthy. That's just evaluating the project. But telling yourself, I am not capable of doing this, is a paralyzing attack on your inherent worth. Doubting yourself leads straight to hopelessness. We have to catch ourselves when we slip from tweaking the output into questioning our fundamental capability. To defeat that critic, we need strategies for true inner freedom. First off, lower the stakes. Stop thinking that whatever you are making right now is going to define your entire life. I promise it won't. Treat every single task, every project, just as a low-stakes experiment, a stepping stone to the next one. Accept that self-doubt is going to be a passenger in the car, and by accepting it, you actually strip away its power. Most importantly, stop fighting with yourself. Your desire to explore simply has to become stronger than your fear. And a huge part of finding that inner freedom is learning to incorporate the unexpected. Things are going to go wrong. You'll run out of an ingredient while cooking dinner, or a major system will crash at work. Instead of getting frustrated and throwing in the towel, ask yourself, how can I redirect this flow? How can I use this mistake? Often, the universe introduces friction specifically to lead us to a better, more innovative solution. Taking a wrong turn is honestly just a chance to see a landscape you wouldn't have seen otherwise. Ultimately, this whole shift in mindset leads to a profound realization, the joy of being a conduit. When we realize that we don't have to generate pure brilliance out of thin air, but rather that we are simply conduits in service to the inspiration the universe is offering up, well, everything changes. The heavy pressure just comes off. We can accept inspiration with humility. This completely turns our ordinary daily lives into a continuous source of energy and joy. We're just playing our natural part in the cycle of creation. So, I want to leave you with one final, provocative question. Knowing that you are intrinsically a creative being, that your everyday choices are your brushstrokes, and that no special tools are ever required, what ordinary task will you turn into art today? Will it be the mindful way you organize your desk? The deliberate way you listen to a friend? The universe is constantly unfolding, and your antenna is ready. The only question left is, what are you going to choose to tune into next?